After Mary Fosberg, wife of Scott Weiland, asked Dean and Robert DeLeo to come over to perform a song at a beach party in 2007, the band members all reconciled. Weiland left Velvet Revolver while Army of Anyone had already gone on what would turn out to be a permanent hiatus. The original lineup all got back together for a reunion tour in 2008. The band began work on a sixth studio album in 2009. Production was finally completed in early 2010. Stone Temple Pilots released their sixth album, entitled Stone Temple Pilots. Yeah, they didn't give it a name. Oops. This was the first STP album released in 9 years. For reference, that was about the same amount of time between Core and Shangri-La-Di-Da. The album appeared to not sell very well, as I could find very little on how it sold, which usually indicates lower sales. Critics seemed to enjoy the album, but a USA Today review from Jerry Schreiber is how I'd perfectly describe this album. The songs were found to be quote-unquote pleasant, but also quote-unquote disposable and inoffensive. This is such a perfect description for this album. I don't hate STP 2010, but I don't find any of the songs particularly interesting. The best ones are Take a Load Off, Bagman, and Hickory Dichotomy, which is my favorite, though it's kinda like this, to be honest.
And the winner is Rocky!
My purebred, which cost me $1,700, lost to a rock.
It's all just so boring and corporate sounding to me. This is probably my least favorite STP album because even the later albums have at least a few songs I really like, while this one doesn't really have any standouts. STP 2010 was nice to see as a return for the band, but it doesn't really leave much of an impression overall. Still though, STP was back and seemed happy to be back. The band even did their first ever concert film from a show in Chicago in 2010. Things seemed to be bright for the band, but as you might suspect based on how I'm building it up, this didn't last very long. The band had been planning a Core 20th anniversary box set and tour. However, this never happened, as the rest of the band believed Scott Weiland just wasn't capable of hitting high vocal parts on some of their songs. On a solo tour for one of his own records, Weiland performed these songs to prove a point. He figured they were all good, but this deeply angered the rest of the band. The band had to cancel a show in September of 2012 due to a doctor's order to Scott Weiland to rest his vocal cords for 48 hours. Weiland said in December that he was quote-unquote open to rejoining Velvet Revolver. With many rumors surrounding the relationship between the bandmates, Stone Temple Pilots officially announced on February 27, 2013 that they had fired Scott Weiland. Weiland and the other band members filed lawsuits against each other over the STP naming rights, which were ultimately awarded to Eric Kretz and the DeLeo brothers. STP wasn't dead, but the lineup everybody knew for all those years was. This time, unfortunately, there would never be another reunion. On December 3rd, 2015, while touring with his new band, The Wildabouts, Scott Weiland died from an overdose of alcohol, pills, and cocaine on his tour bus in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The music world was heartbroken, but maybe not shocked. Everyone knew of Weiland's long-standing drug problems, which had not subsided. STP put out a statement thanking Weiland for all he had done and called him, quote, gifted beyond words. The STP we had all known was officially over for good. But Eric Kretz and the DeLeo brothers remained. After they fired Weiland, they quickly got back to work.